Coach Matt here. I want to go through some forearm and finger recovery stuff. I get a lot of questions on this. I think it's an used phase of training. I hear a lot of talk about overtraining. It's this humble coach's opinion that overtraining doesn't really exist, only under recovery. If you're going to train for 4 hours, you can't expect to do 5 minutes of recovery 1 day a week and balance all that out. So if I'm training a lot, I try to spend a lot of time doing this. I'm going to take you through a sequence of finger, wrist, forearm recovery tools that really help me. The first thing I like to do is get my forearms nice and stretched out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my weight up here, and I'm going to take my hands, I'm leaning forward, I'm trying to keep my fingers as flat as possible, and I'm just going to rotate my hands around. So what I'm looking for here is eventually I have my hands pointing backward. I'm kind of pulsing in and out of them, right? We're not holding them for too long. I'm just kind of going through the process. And then I'm gonna go the other way. So now I'm spinning my hands even farther this way. And you'll find that you get some nice stretches in the elbow here. So if you can see from this angle, I'm working my hand this way, and then I'm working my hand this way. Okay, after you've done that on both sides, we're gonna turn our hands over. Again, here we're trying to get some weight on the back of the hand. This is gonna feel very, very vulnerable through the wrist. That's okay. I wanna straighten my arm and press, and we're gonna build up. I can do a push-up from this position now. And when I first started, it felt like I would snap my wrists if I weighted it at all. So, doing both sides. Again, moving around, not spending too much time in any one position. Next thing we're gonna do is warm up the wrists and start building flexibility through the fingers. So I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna lay it nice and flat. We'll use this hand. I'm gonna lay my hand nice and flat. This pinky likes to pop up. I'm gonna get my fingers nice and flat. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna weight my hands, and then I'm gonna lift just through my palms. So I'm putting a fair amount of weight here, coming up and back down. This feels more like a strength exercise than a stretch, but it does stretch a lot through this first knuckle. So it's kind of both, strength and flexibility. So coming up and back down. So you can see that from the side, here, and back down, here, and back down. You can add as much weight as you want. Next thing, I'm gonna take the fingers, I'm gonna roll them over. Tiger paw. So we're gonna go here and here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to press this knuckle to the ground with my fingers rolled over. So I'm pressing here. Again, kind of pulsing into it. What I'm really doing is trying to fold this all the way in. All of these guys, we're stretching through the back of the fingers. This again feels pretty vulnerable, but really good. It starts waking my fingers up and making them feel healthy. And again, trying to get a fair amount of weight. We really want to press through here. It feels pretty painful at times, but very good nonetheless. Okay, once you do that, shake those hands out. I'm not a big fan of long static stretches before training. Little pulses, 7 to 10 seconds, not more than 10, not less than 5. Once we've made it through that section, we're gonna start working on the forearm. I use a lacrosse ball. I've seen people use a bunch of different things. Anything round and small will do the trick. So we're gonna lay this bad boy down. I'm gonna get my forearm on here. I'm just gonna roll around. I'm looking for any tender spots. We're trying to loosen up the muscle, break the fascia up a little bit, give the muscle room to swell up so we can use it during training. And I'm looking for any injuries or tender spots. I just found one here, so I'm gonna spend some time kind of rolling that little spot out. What I found is at first this won't be painful, but as you get the muscle to loosen up, it'll get a little bit more tender and you'll find more vulnerabilities kind of hidden away in there. If you're at your office, you can spend time doing this when you're super sore. I'll even get here behind the elbow, right? If you have elbow tendonitis, this can be a really nice one as you work up into the tricep. You can even kind of get in here on the inside. Again, if you have pain here on either side of the elbow, we can really work into that with the ball, just kind of breaking it up and loosening everything up. Switch sides. You know, on a rest day, I might spend 10 minutes doing this. Prior to training, I might spend 3 to 5 minutes doing this. Just kind of loosening it up. It's way better than long static stretches. What happens to the muscle when you haven't used it in a while? The tissue, the fascia sticks to the muscle. Where they should slide, they're bound together. So when the muscle expands, when you get pumped, the fascia doesn't allow it to slide and move properly, and it can kind of give you a abnormally large pump, which we sometimes call flash pump, and or just maybe make you not feel 100% and get those surfaces moving. So we want to tear that fascia off the muscle. So we're just kind of working through there. This feels awesome. I do it before and after sessions, or just when I'm injured, whatever works. Lastly, before starting to train, way back in the day when I used to compete on the indoor climbing kind of circuit, we would often have to warm up in isolation, and they didn't have nice climbing walls for us to warm up on. So a lot of us did this little drill of opening and closing your hand. It's a great way to get a preliminary pump without hurting yourself at all. So what I do here is I'll do 100. What I do here is I'm going to do 100 open closes, and they're going to look like this. I'm going to open my hand all the way. When I mean all the way, it's all the way. Not like here, but here, okay? And then I'm going to close and I'm going to make a fist. So it looks like this, and then this. But I'm going to do it fast, and I'm going to do 100 in a row. I'm only going as fast as I can do a good job. All the way open, all the way closed. That was 50, and I'm pumped out of my skull. So you can break it up as needed, accumulate 100. Oh, dude, do 100 of those. I can't even go all the way through. It's fucking crazy. You gotta open them all the way and close your hands. Pumped out of my skull. That's my forearm warm up. Now I'll start climbing.